Okay, so let's talk about social class. What even is it? It's like these invisible layers in our society. Think of it like a very complicated cake. Some layers are thick and rich, others are a bit thinner. It's not about one layer being better than another, but it definitely means people start from different places. Some folks get a massive head start in life's race, while others are starting way, way back, almost in another stadium. It really boils down to opportunities and the resources you have access to from day one. How do we actually see this social class thing? It's not like people wear signs. Well, sometimes their cars are the signs, but usually you look at someone's job. A brain surgeon versus a street sweeper. Very different jobs, right? Different pay, often different levels of respect, sadly. Education is another big clue. Did you go to a fancy university, or did you finish school at 16? These things often paint a picture of your social standing. It's not a perfect system, of course, but these are the markers people often use, consciously or not, and we have names for these different groups. You've heard them. Working class, for example. These are often the people doing vital manual labor, the builders, the factory workers, the drivers. Then there's the middle class. This group is a bit broader. Maybe teachers, office managers, small business owners. And then you hear about the elite or the upper class. Think big shot CEOs, people with inherited wealth. But remember, these aren't super strict boxes. It's more like a spectrum, a gradient, lots of shades of gray in between these labels. Ultimately, social class shapes so much of your world. It's wild when you think about it. It influences the kind of food you grew up eating, the holidays you take or perhaps never take. It even plays a part in who your friends are, what you consider normal behavior or aspirations. It's like the air we breathe. It's all around us, constantly influencing things. Even when we don't consciously think about it or talk about it openly, it's a powerful, often silent force in our lives. So let's break down the resources people have. First up is economic capital. This one's pretty straightforward. It's money, cold, hard cash, or assets like property, stocks, and bonds. Some people are swimming in it, Scrooge McDuck style. Others are constantly worrying about next month's rent. This economic power is the most visible type of capital. It buys you things, obviously. From a fancy car to a better lawyer, it opens certain doors and slams others shut. Next, there's social capital. This is all about who you know, your network, your connections. It's that old saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Can your uncle get you that crucial internship? Does your golfing buddy own a company that's hiring? These relationships are incredibly valuable. They can provide opportunities, advice, and a leg up. It's like having a secret password to certain parts of society, a very useful kind of resource, this social capital. Then we have cultural capital. This one is a bit more subtle. It's about the things you know and the way you behave. Your education, your manners, your accent, your taste in music, art, or literature. Do you know which fork to use at a fancy dinner? Do you feel comfortable in an art gallery discussing abstract expressionism? Or is your comfort zone a local sports match? These are all signals. They subtly indicate where you fit in within the social hierarchy. It's quite fascinating. And all these types of capital massively influence our tastes. What we like, what we prefer. Someone with a lot of cultural capital might enjoy going to the opera or collecting antique books. Someone else might prefer a lively concert in a park or watching the big game with mates. One person saves up for designer clothes. Another is perfectly happy with fast fashion or thrift store finds. Neither is inherently better, of course. They are just different preferences, often shaped quite significantly by one's social class and upbringing. Now, a big question. Can people actually change their social class? The answer is yes, mostly. This is what we call social mobility. It's the idea that you can move up the social ladder, or sometimes you might slide down. Someone born into a very poor family who becomes a successful entrepreneur. That's the classic story of upward mobility. It's the dream, isn't it? The idea that hard work pays off. But let's be real. It's often incredibly difficult. It takes immense effort, a lot of luck, and often a strong support system. Of course, movement can go the other way too, downward mobility. This can happen for many reasons. Losing a high-paying job, a business failing spectacularly, a serious illness that drains resources. This can drastically change someone's life circumstances and their social standing. It's a frightening prospect for many people, this constant pressure of rising or falling. It makes people very anxious about maintaining their position or striving for a higher one. It's like a never-ending game of social snakes and ladders. We humans, we have this funny habit. We compare ourselves to others all the time. It's almost like a built-in feature. You see your neighbor pull up in a brand new, shiny car, and suddenly your perfectly good, reliable car looks a bit sad, a bit old. This constant comparison heavily influences our buying decisions. We often want what others have, or more accurately, what we think people in a certain social class are supposed to have. It's part of human nature, I suppose, but it can be a recipe for unhappiness. This brings us neatly to status symbols. Why would anyone buy a ridiculously expensive watch, one that costs more than a small car, when a cheap digital watch tells the time just as well, maybe even better? It's all about status. That expensive watch isn't just telling time, it's screaming, "Look at me! I've made it! I belong to an exclusive club." Luxury items mean different things to different people. For some, it's genuinely about appreciating craftsmanship and quality. For others, it's purely about showing off, a very loud signal to the world about where they stand. So all this talk about different classes, resources, and symbols, it leads us to a pretty serious issue: social inequality. This is when some groups in society have way more power, way more money, way more opportunities, while other groups have far, far less. And this isn't just about individual talent or hard work. Sometimes the system itself is tilted. It's structured in a way that creates and maintains these huge gaps between people. This inequality affects everyone's well-being, not just those at the bottom. It creates tension and division. This is where the idea of social justice comes in. What is it? It's about fairness. It's about striving to create a society, a world where everyone has a genuinely fair shot at a good life, regardless of the family they were born into, or the color of their skin, or where they grew up. It means aiming for equal opportunities, for quality education, for good healthcare, for decent work. Imagine a race where everyone starts at the same line. That's the ideal, a level playing field for all. So, what can actually be done about all this? It can feel overwhelming. As individuals, we can start by being more aware, understanding our own privileges and biases. We can support policies and leaders that promote fairness and reduce inequality. Businesses also have a massive role to play. They can pay their workers fair wages, offer good benefits and secure employment. They can invest in the communities where they operate. It's not just about maximizing profits, it's about being responsible corporate citizens. And of course, governments have a huge part to play, a critical part. They can work to improve public education systems, so every child gets a good start. They can provide strong social safety nets for those who fall on hard times. They can ensure fair taxation systems where everyone contributes their fair share. And they can invest in public services that benefit everyone. It's a massive undertaking, no doubt about it. But making society more equal, more just, it ultimately benefits everyone in the long run. It makes for a stronger, healthier, and happier world for us all.